Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a fascinating yet complex topic: the hidden signs that a married woman may secretly like you but is keeping it under wraps. Deciphering emotions can be tricky, especially when someone is trying to conceal them. Married women in particular often mask their true feelings due to social expectations, personal commitments, and emotional boundaries. But human nature has a way of revealing itself through subtle behaviors, unspoken cues, and psychological patterns that can't always be controlled. In this video, we'll break down 10 proven behavioral signs, from her body language to how she engages with you emotionally. By the end, you'll have a clearer understanding of whether her actions are purely friendly, or if there's something deeper beneath the surface. Stick around until the end, because we'll also discuss interpreting these signals correctly without misreading the situation. If you find this video insightful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for deeper insights into human relationships. Now, let's get started. 1. She blushes around you. A woman's blush is one of the most revealing attraction indicators. Unlike words, which can be carefully chosen and calculated, or actions which can be performed with intent, blushing is involuntary. It is an unfiltered physiological response triggered by heightened emotions. When she blushes in your presence, her body reacts before her mind can conceal it. This reaction is subtle, fleeting, and often accompanied by a nervous giggle, a shy smile, or a momentary avoidance of eye contact, before she looks back at you with renewed curiosity. It is a glimpse into her subconscious, a silent confession that she feels something. The science behind blushing lies in the body's autonomic nervous system, which governs involuntary reactions. When a woman experiences a rush of emotions, attraction, embarrassment, or excitement, her sympathetic, jumpy system causes the blood vessels in her face to dilate, resulting in that unmistakable rosy hue. She cannot control it, nor can she quickly suppress it. This makes blushing one of the most honest expressions of emotion, a reaction that betrays her feelings even when she tries to hide them. If you notice that she blushes specifically around you and not around others, it is a strong sign that you evoke a unique emotional response in her. A woman who blushes in your presence reacts to something beyond mere conversation. Perhaps it is how you look at her, steady, confident, unshaken. Maybe it is how you speak, assured, deliberate, without seeking approval. Or perhaps it is something less tangible, an unspoken energy between you that triggers a more profound instinctual attraction. Her body responds before her mind can rationalize it. When she feels this, she may not fully understand why she is blushing, but she feels it nonetheless. And at that moment, she is aware of you in a way that she is unaware of others. This is why blushing is such a powerful indicator. Unlike a forced laugh or a rehearsed response, a blush cannot be easily faked. A woman may smile out of politeness and laugh at a joke to fill the silence, but blush is genuine. It signals that she has been emotionally affected, that something within her has shifted, even if only for a second. And that second matters because attraction is often born in those brief, unguarded moments where logic has no control. If you notice her blushing when you compliment her, tease her playfully, or even hold eye contact for a moment too long, understand that this reaction is significant. It is a sign that she feels something, an attraction, a thrill, a nervous excitement. It is a sign that your presence has an impact. In the complex dance of male-female attraction, these unspoken cues, these involuntary responses, often reveal the most. 2. She prefers your company over her husband. A woman who consistently chooses to spend time with you instead of her husband is revealing something more profound than casual friendship. It's in the small, seemingly insignificant moments. How she texts you first thing in the morning, how she lingers in conversations that could have ended minutes ago, how she looks for excuses to be near you. She shares things with you she doesn't share with him, seeks your input on decisions that should be made within her marriage, and, perhaps without realizing it, starts prioritizing your presence over the man she vowed to commit to. Women in pleased marriages instinctively place their husbands above any other man. It's not a conscious decision, it's a natural byproduct of emotional fulfillment. When satisfied in her relationship, she does not need to seek out another male figure for comfort, validation, or understanding. But when that connection starts to erode, when she feels unseen, unheard, or emotionally disconnected, she will, deliberately or unconsciously, start searching elsewhere for what she is missing. And that is when you become more than just a friend. Attraction is not always about physical desire. Sometimes it manifests in the quiet pull of emotional intimacy, in the feeling of being understood in a way she no longer experiences with her husband. She may not fully recognize what she is doing. She only knows that being around you feels different, lighter, and more exciting. When she laughs with you, it feels effortless. When she confides in you, it feels natural. When she makes time for you, it's not out of obligation, but choice. And the choice is everything. A woman's attention is never divided without reason. If she prioritizes you, it means something in her marriage is lacking. It could be boredom, a loss of passion, a craving for excitement, or simply the need to feel desired again. You become the escape, the source of emotional refuge, the one who listens without judgment and engages without expectation. She starts to crave your presence the way she once craved his. Some men mistake this as an opportunity to replace the husband, but that's not how this dynamic works. If she is drawn to you, it is not necessarily because she wants a new relationship. It's because she wants to feel something she has lost. She doesn't want responsibility, she wants relief. She doesn't want a commitment, she wants a connection. And if she senses that you understand this without trying to push for more, her attraction will only intensify. A woman in this situation may initially not consciously acknowledge her emotional shift. She may justify her actions as friendship and tell herself she's enjoying good company, but deep down she knows. She knows because she thinks about you when she's with him. She knows because she hesitates before mentioning your name in conversation. She knows because she feels the contrast. How easy it is with you, how strained it has become with him. Whether or not she acts on these feelings, the truth remains. When a woman prefers your company over her husband's, it is never accidental. It is always a sign of something deeper, something missing, something broken, something she desperately tries to find again. And once she realizes that, the real question isn't what she will do next, it's what you will. 3. She's curious about your romantic life. When a woman frequently asks about your dating history, preferences, or current relationship status, she isn't just making small talk. She's evaluating, she's gathering information, even if she doesn't consciously realize it. A woman who is only a friend may ask out of curiosity, but she won't show repeated interest, nor will she press for details. If she frequently inquires about your past partners, your ideal type, or whether you're seeing someone, she is mentally placing herself in that equation. She compares herself to the women you've been with before, subtly gauging whether she fits into your world. The tone and frequency of her questioning are key. A casual one-time question about your dating life may be nothing more than polite curiosity. But if she brings it up in different conversations, if she seems invested in your answers, if she reacts in a way that suggests she's assessing your response, this is more than casual interest. If she teases you about your type, playfully suggests that you might have a thing for certain kinds of women, or expresses surprise or even mild jealousy about your past relationships, she is likely viewing you as a potential romantic option. Women don't ask about a man's love life just to make conversation. They ask because they want to know if you are available, if you are desirable, and if you are a challenge. A man with options is a man worth pursuing. If she senses that you have experience, that other women have been drawn to you, it subtly increases your perceived value. She may even test your response. Does your past define you, or do you remain indifferent? A man who speaks about his past relationships with confidence and detachment, rather than bitterness or regret, signals emotional strength. If interested, she may also reveal small pieces of her romantic history, hoping to create a sense of connection. She might downplay her past experiences, implying she hasn't met someone like you. Or she may hint at her availability, subtly making it clear that she is open to something new. If she asks who you find attractive or what qualities you look for in a partner, she is likely searching for a reflection of herself in your answer. She wants to know if she measures up. A woman's curiosity about your romantic life is rarely just idle chatter. It's an unconscious strategy that allows her to determine where she stands in your world. A man who understands this does not rush to give her all the answers. He allows a little mystery to linger. He does not frame himself as desperate or overly eager, nor does he try to impress her with an exaggerated history. He remains composed, answering with confidence but never seeking validation, because the moment a woman starts investigating your love life, she has already considered herself part of it. 4. She discusses her marriage with you. When a woman begins discussing her marriage with you, sharing the intimate details of her struggles, frustrations, and disappointments, she is not simply making conversation. Women do not typically disclose marital dissatisfaction to a man unless there is a deeper underlying reason. It is not about casual venting. It is a signal, an unspoken invitation into her emotional world. She speaks of her husband's shortcomings, inability to understand her, and failure to meet her emotional needs. And while on the surface it may seem like she is merely confiding in you, beneath that is a subtle but powerful shift. She is positioning you as an emotional refuge, contrasting to the man who no longer fulfills her. A married woman does not share her vulnerabilities with just anyone. If she chooses to open up to you, she feels a certain level of trust and connection that goes beyond the surface. This is not about sympathy, it is about emotional realignment. When a woman feels neglected, unappreciated, or emotionally disconnected in her marriage, she unconsciously seeks what she is missing elsewhere. If she turns to you and allows herself to be emotionally vulnerable in your presence, she senses something in you that she no longer finds in her husband. This is where many men misunderstand the situation. They assume they are simply a listening ear, a friend offering support, but in reality, they are stepping into a more significant role. A woman will not verbalize this directly. She will not say, "I see you as an emotional alternative to my husband." Instead, it manifests in how she lingers in conversations with you, seeks your perspective on her problems, and finds comfort in your presence. She might not fully know what she is doing, but she draws closer emotionally. If you are perceptive, you will recognize this shift, not just in what she says, but in how she... Her words may carry frustration toward her husband, but her actions reveal something more profound. She wants you to understand her, to see her, to acknowledge the emotional void she is experiencing. The psychological reason behind this is simple. Women crave emotional connection. When a marriage begins to lose its intimacy, not just physical intimacy but the deep emotional bond that makes a woman feel seen and cherished, she will instinctively seek it elsewhere. This does not always mean she consciously intends to replace her husband, but emotions rarely operate within the boundaries of logic. The more she confides in you and leans on you for emotional support, the more she associates you with the fulfillment she is missing. Over time, this can evolve into something much more potent that shifts the dynamic between you and her in ways that neither of you may have anticipated. In these situations, some men make the mistake of assuming that just because she is unhappy in her marriage, she is ready to leave it. That is not always the case. Women have complex ways of handling emotional dissatisfaction. Some will vent endlessly about their struggles yet remain in the marriage, unable or unwilling to make a change. Others will slowly detach, their minds leaving long before their bodies ever do. And some will actively seek out an alternative, a man who represents the emotional and psychological connection they crave. Understanding where she stands is crucial. What matters most is your awareness of the situation. If you find yourself in this position, recognize what is happening beneath the surface. Ask yourself, is she confiding in me because she genuinely sees me as a friend, or is there something more? Is she seeking comfort, validation, or an emotional escape? And more importantly, what role am I willing to play in this dynamic? Because whether you intend it or not, the moment she begins discussing her marriage with you in this way, you have already become part of her emotional equation. 5. She dresses up for you. A woman's attraction is often revealed not through words but through subtle actions. Small, seemingly insignificant changes that speak volumes if you know how to read them. One of the most telling signs that she is drawn to you is when she starts putting extra effort into her appearance whenever she knows she will see you. It is not always a conscious decision, but an undeniable shift. The way she dresses, the way she styles her hair, the scent of her perfume lingering in the air as she walks past, all of it is designed, intentionally or not, to capture your attention. Consider the timing. If you notice that she suddenly begins wearing more flattering outfits, styling her hair differently, or adding a touch of makeup that enhances her features. Does this only happen when she knows you will be around? Does she dress casually around others but seem to elevate her appearance in your presence? If so, it strongly indicates that she cares about how you perceive her. Attraction is not always expressed through direct confession. More often than not, it is revealed through effort, through the desire to be noticed. This behavior is deeply rooted in psychology. Since ancient times, women have used appearance as a form of communication, signaling interest without saying a word. When a woman is indifferent, she makes no special effort. But when drawn to someone, her subconscious urges her to enhance her allure, stand out, and become unforgettable in his eyes. This is why she adjusts her dress when you enter the room. She smooths her hair before speaking to you, and picks out a scent designed to linger on your mind long after she has gone. But here is the mistake most men make. They fail to notice, or worse, they dismiss it as coincidence. When a woman invests in her appearance for you, it is a subtle invitation, a sign that she is receptive to your presence. It does not mean she is yours, nor does it mean she is expecting you to act, but it does mean she cares what you think, and that in itself is powerful. A confident man does not need to seek validation by pointing it out or fishing for confirmation. He simply acknowledges it, not with words, but with his presence. He appreciates the effort, but he does not become overly excited. He understands that attraction is not something to be chased, but drawn in. When you recognize the signs and understand the unspoken signals she is giving you, you step into a position of quiet power. Because in the end, attraction is not about what is said, it is about what is felt. 6. She creates opportunities to be with you. Attraction is rarely expressed through grand gestures. Instead, it manifests in the seemingly coincidental moments that keep pulling two people together. When a woman is drawn to a man, she will create opportunities to be around him, often in ways that appear casual, even accidental. She might suggest a group outing that conveniently includes him, bring up a shared interest that leads to an impromptu conversation, or find an excuse to ask for his help with something she could easily handle on her own. These moments seem like ordinary interactions to the untrained eye, but they hold a deeper intent beneath the surface. A woman interested in a man will subtly position herself within his orbit. She won't always take the direct approach. She may not confess her feelings outright or make bold moves, but she will ensure that circumstances align in a way that keeps their paths crossed. She might suddenly take an interest in activities he enjoys, suggesting they go together. She might coincidentally show up at places she knows he'll be, brushing it off as happenstance. She might find reasons to extend their conversations, asking just one more question, making just one more comment, lingering a little longer than necessary. Attraction isn't about chance, it's about patterns. A single instance could be a coincidence, but it is deliberate when she consistently finds ways to be near him, engage with him, and spend time in his presence. This behavior is rooted in psychology. People naturally seek proximity to those they are drawn to, even if they are unaware of it. A woman who values a man's presence will subconsciously, or sometimes very consciously, engineer moments where they can interact. She will try to stay connected through direct interaction, or positioning herself where he can notice her. If she initiates conversations that don't seem to have a clear purpose, or suggests shared experiences that deepen their bond, if she appears in places where he least expects, but most appreciates, she makes a move without making it obvious. A man who understands this does not dismiss these moments as chance. He recognizes the signs, but does not rush to call them out. Instead, he allows the rhythm to unfold naturally, meeting her efforts with calm confidence rather than eagerness. He does not need to question whether her presence is intentional. He observes, enjoys, and does not overanalyze. He maintains the presence that draws her in, keeping the dynamic intriguing, effortless, and undeniably magnetic. 7. She flirts with you. Flirting is a silent yet powerful language that allows women to communicate their interests without ever needing to say them outright. It exists in the glances that linger just a second too long, in the way her laughter comes easily, even at jokes that aren't particularly funny. It's in the subtle teasing, the playful nudges, the way she mirrors your movements without realizing it. A woman's flirtation is rarely direct. It thrives in nuance, in the unspoken tension that builds in the space between words. When a woman is attracted to a man, she unconsciously seeks to close the physical and emotional gap between them. She leans in slightly when he speaks, tilts her head in curiosity, and maintains eye contact just long enough to make it feel personal. Her body betrays her before her words do. Her feet point toward him, her posture opens, and a natural warmth fills her expression. Even if she tries to hide it, her subconscious finds ways to make the attraction known. For example, a married woman who flirts may tread carefully, keeping things playful yet intimate. She might not verbalize her feelings, but her body language and energy reveal a different story. The psychology behind flirting is deeply rooted in human nature and evolutionary biology. Playful teasing, for instance, is a way of testing the waters, seeing how a man responds, and gauging his confidence and wit. If she challenges him, it's not to push him away, but to see how he holds his ground. A woman doesn't flirt with just anyone. Her effort, no matter how subtle, is an investment of her attention. She reveals more than her words suggest when she gives compliments disguised as casual observations. "You always know how to make people laugh," or "I feel like I can talk to you about anything." It's an invitation, a hint, a door left slightly open. Men who misunderstand these signals often dismiss them entirely, or overanalyze them to the point of hesitation. The key is not to seek validation, but to recognize attraction for what it is: an organic response to presence, confidence, and energy. A woman flirts. After all, she is drawn in because something about a man intrigues her enough to engage on a level beyond ordinary conversation. The dynamic shifts when a man recognizes this without second-guessing himself and responds with equal ease and self-assurance. The game of attraction is no longer about proving worth. It becomes a natural rhythm, a dance of unspoken understanding. Women may not always admit their interests outright, but their actions reveal the truth. Flirting is never accidental. It is a choice, a signal, a test of chemistry that, once understood, can change how a man perceives attraction forever. 8. You often catch her gaze. A woman's eyes often speak before she does. Long before she says a word, before she allows herself to acknowledge her own emotions, her gaze betrays her. If you catch her looking at you more than once, especially when she believes you aren't aware, understand that this is not a coincidence. It is a subconscious signal, a silent confession of interest that she may not be fully aware of. Attraction often operates beneath the surface, bypassing logic and manifesting in ways she cannot entirely control. If her eyes linger on you for just a second too long, if she quickly looks away the moment you catch her, if you notice her stealing glances when she assumes you are distracted, it is a sign. Eye contact is one of the most primal, powerful forms of communication. Before words existed, before social norms dictated how men and women should interact, the attraction was conveyed through a look, deep, unbroken, unspoken. Even now, in a world filled with distractions, where people are buried in their phones and detached from their surroundings, eye contact remains one of the few things that can pierce through the noise. When a woman maintains eye contact longer than usual, there is an undeniable charge in the air. It is the kind of connection that momentarily silences everything else. She feels it, you feel it. It is the most instinctive and revealing indicator of attraction. A woman's glance can be intentional, but more often than not, it is reflexive. It is not always a conscious decision to look at you. It happens naturally. She may be conversing with others, but her attention drifts toward you. She may be laughing at someone's joke, but her eyes flicker in your direction to see if you are watching. And sometimes she may not realize how often she is drawn to you until you catch her in the act. How she reacts in that moment, whether she maintains the gaze or shyly looks away, can reveal even more. If she quickly diverts her eyes, it is often a sign of internal conflict, of an attraction she is trying to suppress or is not yet ready to acknowledge. It is an invitation if she holds your gaze, unwavering and unafraid. Attraction is not always immediate. Sometimes, a woman does not consciously recognize her feelings until she catches herself looking at you repeatedly. There is something about you, your presence, your energy, your confidence, that commands her attention. She cannot help but seek you out in a crowded room. And whether she realizes it or not, each stolen glance strengthens the connection. She is drawn to you not because she has decided to be, but because something more profound, beyond logic, is pulling her in your direction. Men often look for verbal confirmation, waiting for a woman to state her interest explicitly, but the truth is, attraction is rarely announced, it is revealed. If you pay attention and learn to read the unspoken language of desire, you will recognize the signs before she says a word, and when you do, you will understand one simple truth: the eyes will always betray what the lips refuse to say. 9. She gives you personal attention. A woman's true feelings are often revealed not through grand gestures, but in the slightest, most unassuming details. It's in the way she remembers that you prefer your coffee black, with just a touch of cinnamon, even though you only mentioned it once in passing. It's in how she brings up a book you said you wanted to read weeks ago, or recalls a story about your childhood that even you had nearly forgotten. These moments are not coincidences. They are indicators of genuine interest, subtle but powerful clues that she sees you as more than just another person in her life. When a woman truly values a man, she pays attention in a way that others do not. She listens, not just to respond, but to absorb. She remembers details casual friends would overlook: your habits, passions, the things that light you up when you speak. She notices you having a rough day, even if you haven't said anything about it. She asks how you are, not out of politeness, but because she genuinely wants to know. She goes out of her way to make you feel seen, to let you know that your presence matters. This is not the behavior of someone indifferent. It is the natural response of an emotionally invested woman. Attention is currency in human relationships. We do not spend it freely. We reserve it for those who hold significance in our lives. A woman may be polite to many and friendly to some, but she will only give deep, consistent attention to a man who occupies a meaningful place in her mind. If she remembers what you said during a conversation that even you barely recall, if she follows up on things that most would forget, if she takes time out of her day to check on you without expecting anything in return, she is demonstrating interest in a way that words cannot fully capture. The mind naturally filters out information that it deems unimportant. If she recalls small things about you without effort, her mind has categorized you as someone worth remembering, and this is not something she can fake indefinitely. While a woman might show superficial interest for a short period, genuine care manifests in sustained attention over time. If she continuously brings up details about your life and consistently seeks to understand you deeper, she is not just going through the motions, she is emotionally engaged. Attraction is not always loud. It does not always announce itself through blatant flirting or exaggerated compliments. Sometimes it is as simple as a woman trying to know you, to see you beyond the surface. It is in her remembering the way you like your eggs cooked, in her asking how your big meeting went before you even bring it up, in her recalling a passing comment you made about your favorite movie and suggesting you watch it together. These actions, though small, are significant. They reveal where her focus is, where her mind naturally drifts when you are not around. And if that focus consistently returns to you, the answer is clear. You are not just another man to her. You are someone who truly matters. 10. she engages in subtle physical contact. A woman's attraction is rarely expressed in words alone. It is in the subtle, almost imperceptible gestures that reveal what she may not say outright. The way she lingers just a moment longer than necessary when handing you something, the light graze of her fingertips across your arm in the middle of a conversation, the playful nudge when she laughs at your joke. These are not random acts. They are small but deliberate signals communicating interest in a way that words often fail to capture. Touch is one of the most primal forms of human connection. It bypasses logic, operating on a profoundly emotional and instinctual level. A woman who is drawn to you will find excuses, seemingly innocent ones, to create physical closeness. She may brush against you as she walks past, lean in just enough so that your shoulders touch, or place a hand on your back as she moves through a crowd. Each of these moments is an unspoken test, a way for her to gauge your response and feelings. If you tense up, pull away, or fail to acknowledge it, she may subconsciously take it as a sign that the attraction is not mutual. But if you remain relaxed and reciprocate equally subtly yet confidently, your dynamic shifts. Married women, or women who are otherwise trying to suppress their attraction, often engage in these gestures even more discreetly. They won't be overt, but the difference is in the way they touch you compared to others. Does her hand rest on your arm just a second too long? Does she lightly brush something off your shoulder when there is nothing there? Does she position herself closer to you than necessary, even in group settings? These are not coincidences. They are controlled, measured actions, safe enough to be dismissed, but intentional, sufficient to be felt. In moments like these, it is not about the touch itself, but the emotional weight behind it. Physical contact creates an instant neurological response, triggering the release of oxytocin, the hormone associated with bonding and trust. When she touches you in ways that she doesn't with others, it is because she feels something different with you. It is an unconscious act of seeking closeness, a silent invitation for you to recognize what is happening beneath the surface. Men who understand this unspoken language do not overanalyze or hesitate. They do not pull away out of fear of misreading signals, nor do they react with excessive enthusiasm that disrupts the delicate balance. Instead, they acknowledge it for what it is, a natural and undeniable sign of attraction. They respond in kind, allowing the tension to build in a neither forced nor desperate way. They recognize that when a woman chooses to bridge the physical distance, no matter how subtly, she reveals something more profound than words ever could. Understanding these subtle yet revealing signs requires careful observation and awareness of context. A single behavior may not be definitive, but when multiple signs consistently appear, they strongly suggest hidden attraction. The key takeaway is to trust patterns, not isolated moments. Attraction, mainly when unspoken, often manifests in ways that are easily overlooked, but impossible to ignore once recognized. Whether it's prolonged eye contact, subtle touches, or emotional investment, these behaviors reveal more than words ever could. Now, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Have you ever noticed any of these signs in someone's behavior? What experiences have you had in similar situations? Share your insights in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more insights into relationships, attraction, and human psychology. See you in the next one.